Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Gonna give you guys some time to come in. It is Monday. It's a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Monday. Are you feeling it? Welcome. Yeah, I'm hearing myself. Are you hearing me well? I hope you are. This is your time to get your stuff together, to get your snacks together, to get your water together, to get your groove together. And of course, tonight, this song that I'm playing here is by Calabash, From Whence We Came. Now, I don't own the rights to the music, but I got permission to play the music. Facebook, I'm just telling you. YouTube, I'm just telling you. We can play this music. Don't you hear it? Anthony Pierre and the gang. No, we got to get Calabash on here. I keep saying that. Joan Pierre, can you make that happen? Can you help me to get Calabash on the Victory Speak show? I need to call in all my favors, you know? Okay, so I'm going to be good because this is going to be a fun filled show tonight. Um, this person I have on tonight, I'm telling you, I don't know how we're getting through this, but we're going to get through this as we always do. You know, welcome to the Victory Speak show. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nicole Waldron, and this is the Inspired Conversation series where iron sharpens iron. That's you and me sharpening each other. And some people know me as the voice of victory and a mental fitness coach. Today, I'm the host of the show, and I'm on a mission to inspire you to live a victorious lifestyle. This inspired conversation is just one of the ways that I'll be doing this. You got to stay tuned. You got to keep locked in to Victory Speaks. You know, we have many conversations in our lives, good, bad, funny, indifferent. But you know what? You got to find the inspiration in every conversation that you have. And I have had many inspired conversations in my life, and I like to share them because you know what? Sharing is caring. And today, you know, it's Monday, it's the 8th of February. Can you believe it's the 8th of February already? And we're celebrating, at least in Ontario, the 25th anniversary of Black History Month. In Nova Scotia, they call it African Heritage Month. You got to go learn about that history. It's quite interesting as to why things are called differently. They actually started celebrating Black History Month before we did in Ontario. And so today, you know, last week we talked about mental health. Today, I want to go into the entertainment world when we talk about Black history. And I brought on I know, one woman who inspires me. I've worked with her. She's my friend. She's my sister. She's a mentor. She's one of my unsung heroes, and she's one of the unsung heroes in our community. Some of you who are tuned in and locked in right now, who knows who I'm talking about? My guest tonight. Let me tell you. Okay, sit back. You ready for this? I'm gonna have to get a drum roll to bring her on. You guys gotta get your emojis ready. You gotta get some stuff ready because she needs a warm, 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 warm welcome. Fan filled. She's a president of QW Productions Corporation, founder of the Canadian Black Entertainment, co-founder of Dandelions in the Wind Corporation, VP of Collective Music Nation. Let me tell you, she's a vocalist. She is an accomplished songstress. She's a performer, she's an arranger, she's a producer. She has performed with well-known artists around the world. She has performed in Asia, Europe, North America, the Caribbean, you name it, she's performed there. If there's no place she hasn't performed yet, we're going to find out and we're going to have to get her that gig. She has this amazing, beautiful personality. And she's one of Toronto's, let me tell you, sought after session vocalist. She performs and has performed regularly in corporate gigs. Now we're in COVID, so we're going to have to talk to her about how she's doing. This beautiful woman, well renowned Canadian artist, recently released her new single, Black Shoes, alongside her bandmates. Shaka, oh, I'm saying the name wrong. Quisha, you're going to have to help me with this one when I get to you. Al Green, SOS Band, Duffmusiq, the producer for the songwriter, composer, Roger Williams, Jully Black, Shakura S'aida, the Bentley Collective. Wow. I mean, like, Quisha, I don't even know. Yes, I said her name. It's Quisha Wint, y'all. She currently lives in the GTA. And you know what? She has a really well established and tight knit music community. So, Tribe, Victory Tribe, give it up. Give it up for the one and only Quisha Wint. Yes, yes, yes. I hope you're seeing her. I'm going to bring her up to the stage. Yay, Quisha.
Ooh,
Woo!
thank you.
That's the fan club that we're not hearing loudly, but I'm hearing them through Facebook Land. I'm hearing them. How you doing, beloved?
I am doing wonderful. No complaints. I'm just
That's what I
good.
love about you. You always see the beauty in life. Like we got Love More already on here. You know, Brandy Bailey is already saying Yahoo, the an incredible woman. Let's start with the compliments. An
Hi,
incredible
Brandy.
woman, artist and friend. Look at them. The fans are coming in. Come on in. Tell
Aw,
your friends.
hi,
Listen,
Brandy.
you gotta share. You gotta share this. You gotta share that Quisha Wint is here live. I don't even know if I was able to get you out of your busy schedule. I'm just so honored and so happy about it. So how's your day been?
So far, so good. I came back from the dentist, and of course, everything is nice.
They need to hire you for your smile.
No, my dentist is always saying, "My goodness, your teeth are so white. I love it."
Okay, so whoever's doing commercials out there, Keisha needs a gig for a commercial. She's a creative artist, and she has a beautiful style. So let's dive in. There is so much to you. Like when I think of all the titles and all the things that you do, Keisha, I just go like, do you sleep?
Yeah, I do.
How many hours?
I try 8 hours.
Seriously, you
Yeah,
actually get you
8 hours.
actually get 8 hours sleep with all that you do.
Lately, yes. Because
Wow.
I have made sure to uh, put that time away for
Mhm.
my well-being to rejuvenate. However, that when the creative juices are flowing, sometimes I wake up a little bit earlier than the 8 hours because my brain is just
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
It's like I've been wired that way. I keep finding like new ideas come to
Mhm.
me, and I'm like, I've got to write down or I got to record it. So that's just how I'm made up. So,
I love it. So what do you do? How do you start your day?
so the first thing I do is I do my devotions, and I don't even get out of my bed. I make sure that's the first thing I do. I give God Almighty thanks,
Mm.
and I do my devotions, and then I pray. Then I get up, and then regular hygiene stuff. Come downstairs, and I work out.
Ooh.
And then I get into whatever I need to do for the rest of the day. It could be working on Collective Music Nation,
Mhm.
Canadian Black Entertainment, QW Productions, Quisha Wint, me, um, worship leading, projects, you name it. So I
You
start.
organized. You super organized. You have
I
to be
was not
super.
ever all that organized, to be honest. I think really this pandemic has forced me to push the reset button in my life.
Mm.
And because I was just going, 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 going. And oh, by the way, I am a mother as well. I'm
Yeah.
a mom. I have a 14-year-old. So,
Wow.
so I'm trying to deal with that and his mental state and making sure, he's good with school and stuff like that. And so this is why I have no love life.
Yet.
I have no
Yet.
time for it.
Yet. Yet. We're not canceling that out yet.
Yeah, we don't cancel it out, but it's like right now I'm like anybody. If I try to introduce someone into my life, they'd be like, "Huh?" And I need someone that is able to support me in all the things that I am doing, as I would support him. So, but right now I'm good.
They're out there. He's
That
out there. He might even be listening tonight, and or somebody who knows him is listening tonight. She's single. She's available. She's beautiful, and
you're funny.
we're just putting it out there because love's in need of love today. As some song says.
Listen, the thing is, there's a vetting process,
Don't worry,
and
you have a whole bunch of us that will be helping you vet.
people that they have to go through. So I feel sorry for them already.
Well, you know what? That guy is going to be, he's going to be phenomenal because he has to handle a beautiful queen, and he has to be confident in his own self, and he
Yeah.
has to know himself. So don't worry, Joan Pierre, you're on the line. I see you on the line. Get on the program. Joan Pierre, get on the program. We have single ladies here. I'm just saying. So, Quisha,
Yes.
let's learn a little more about you. How, like, well, let's start with what was growing up like for you? Because a lot of people don't know about you because they see you here, and I think they need to know your roots, where you were born, some of that kind of stuff, because people make assumptions by the color of our skin.
Mm-hmm. And
I
also,
think that everybody's an immigrant,
right? And also how we talk, because
Yeah.
sometimes my Jamaican heritage comes out.
Joan Pierre says she's listening to us.
So my parents are Jamaican. I am first generation Canadian. I was born in Toronto. My dad told me a story that when I was about 2 years old or 3 years old, he said he brought me to a party and I was dancing up a storm and everybody was watching me dance. And he said that a man came up to him and said, "That's your daughter?" And my dad said, "Yes." And he said, "What's her name?" He said, "Quisha." And the man said, "If I ever have a little girl, I'm going to name her Quisha."
Wow.
So he did. So there is actually someone who's named after me out there in the world. I would love to meet her one day. She's younger than me, but I would love to meet her.
We're gonna have to do a search.
Yeah, we'll have to search for her.
Yeah.
Hopefully my dad can remember exactly who it is, because his brain is amazing.
Yeah.
Sure. But anyhow, I was dancing. I always loved music. So I have quite a few siblings. Quite a few. We grew up in a rowdy household. Me being the eldest in the house, a lot of responsibility was on me.
Eldest of how many though, Quisha? How many siblings do you have?
So there's 7 of us, but there was 4 of us that lived in the same house.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was the oldest in the household. So,
Wow.
I was pretty much the one that was kind of taking care of everybody alongside my sister, who's just behind me. We were very close in age. So I remember living in a 1-bedroom apartment building. And my sister and I shared the bed. It was a queen size bed. I still remember that bed, and then we kept moving. It was like almost like every 2 years we were moving and moving.
Right.
And then finally it was like we were in a house of our own. It was incredible to see the progression of my parents working so hard, and they got us to that point. So my love for music came from a very young age because my mom and my dad loved to spin records at home.
I always wondered about where you got this love for music.
Love it. Well, I just found out maybe within a decade that my dad used to play saxophone and keys in a band. So I'm like,
you mean just like we found out on Sunday that you play drums?
Yeah, kind of like that,
Yeah.
I was just blown away. I was like, "You did?" So there was like a bit of a competition between my mom and my dad. They're like, "Oh no, she got it from me." Like, "Oh, she got it from me, And I laugh, but they honestly say they don't know where I got it from because.
So neither one of them sing?
No, none of them sing. All I remember is spinning Whitney Houston's record over and over and over again. It's the one with the white tank top, just like this. And I played side A and side B. Side A and side B. And I think that's where my passion for music came, is just hearing her voice. She is the voice. And so I was dancing first. I was part of a, dance school. I sang at church. That was the only place I would sing. And I started singing when I was 6 years old. And I remember my first time singing at church. I had my pigtails and my nice church dress and my little, socks that with the lace on
the lace and it fold over.
Yeah, and the shoes. And I sang a song. I still can't, I think it was either "Give It All to Jesus" or "Precious Lord, Take My Hand." And I finished singing the song, and it was a predominantly Caribbean church.
Uh-huh.
So, to my amazement, and I was shocked, as soon as I was finished singing, I hear encore, encore, encore. And I'm like, what does that mean?
What is an encore? You're 6 years old.
I'm 6 years old. So I looked over at my music director at the time, Marlene Dixon, and she was playing the keys, and she said, sing it again, sing it again. And I said, oh, okay. And I sang it again. And it was like the pastor made a whole sermon over the songs. And so I realized, oh, there's something here. So I kept progressing. At the age of 10 or 12, I started conducting the choir at my church.
What?
Love the music. Oh, yeah.
10 or Quisha, come on now.
One of those ages. I think it's probably because I was probably more mature then.
Right.
So conducting the choir, and I kept that on for many years, up until I was like 19 years old, I think it was, 18, 19 years old. But my first experience singing at school, so this is where my career started to evolve, is my high school was having their first Black History Month event. And so they had auditions in the cafeteria. So I said, oh, okay, I'm going to sign up. None of my friends knew that I sang because they saw me in the band playing flute. I played flute for 13 years. So they were like
a well-rounded musician. I'm done. I'm done.
I played flute for 13 years. So I was always in the band at school. Like I was not a part of the choir at school because I thought it was so like not me. Like it was not the type of music that I liked. So I was like,
okay, I get it. The music. Yeah.
So I went into the band to play flute. And so they said, okay, we're having auditions. So when I said, okay, I'll sign up to sing, people were like, what? You sing? And they were laughing. Now I go into the audition. Now it's not no typical audition where it's just the panel. The whole school seemed to like they were in that.
Oh, because they heard Quisha's gonna sing.
No, they were trying to, look at everybody. Like, I'm like, come on, pick everybody out, let everybody just audition,
Yeah.
No, everybody was in there. And I just stood there. They said, Quisha, go up and sing. So I stood on the platform, on the stage, and I was like, we belong together. We belong together, just you and me, and the world to see. We'll make it be so complete. You'll be my love, and you'll be my joy forever together. Ooh. And the whole place erupt. They start tables.
Oh, God.
Back to my girls. One of them had a lisp. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could sing. Oh my gosh.
Quisha, you're an actress too, right? Because like
I do. I act
seriously
on shows and stuff.
Seriously, drama.
It's like, but that was the first time. And then all of a sudden, Quisha, we need you to sing for Spirit Week. Quisha, we need you to do all these things. So I think it was, what's that fashion show that we have that was on TV where fashion.
Ginny Petty with Diddy Petty? Was that?
No, it was another one. It was with it was in the States, but this big fashion show competition. And so I went to school with one of them, Sunny Fung, and he made my first dress ever. I think I was his first model.
Wow, Quisha.
I wore it at Spirit Week.
You need to, okay, wait a second. Hold on. Have you started the book yet? The Memoirs of Quisha Wint? Okay. If I was a writer right now, I would be like saying, I'm going to be your ghostwriter because we're starting that book tomorrow.
Okay. Listen, talking to you is making me go down memory lane because
wow, girl,
a lot of things that have happened that I'm like, my goodness, so Sunny Fung, shout out to Sunny.
Sunny, we're gonna find you and tag you in this
video
somewhere, man.
Spread incredible designer, and now he's making uh, these watches that are just stunning. Um, anyhow, yeah, so I moved on, and then at the end of my high school year, they said, "Okay, it's time for you to pick your career." And I'm
Mm.
like, career? I'm not old enough to think. And they were like, "Oh yeah." So the guidance counselor comes around with the paper, and all I'm seeing are things like engineer, doctor, mechanic,
Nothing you want. Nothing.
nothing.
Nothing for quiche.
I was like, "What is this?" I go, I knew from high school that I could never live, like, do a 9 to 5 job. I just knew. I was just like, "There's no way." It scares me
Mm.
to this day. It scares me, and so I said, "There's something has to be out there for me. I'm gifted in something, aren't I? Like, none of these things, are for me."
That's so profound that you knew at that young age that you were gifted.
I knew I was gifted with something. Aren't we all? We all have a purpose.
Yeah.
And I just felt none of this stuff defines me. Like, what is this? And so, out of nowhere, the next day,
Hmm.
a past student came back to visit. Donovan Fuller, I'll never forget it. And he came back, and we were chatting away, and he tells me he's at Humber College for music. And I went, "There's actually a school for this? Like, I could do music?" And I was never thinking about doing music full time. No one ever said that I could do music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah." So he offered to take me to the campus and look around. So I went to Humber College one day. I maybe skipped school, or, we took one of the days and went down, and I was in love. That's when I realized, oh, this is my passion. I loved it. I was beaming. I was like, yes. When something just touches your soul, I was like, wow, this is incredible. So I ventured off and filled out the application for Humber College and did the audition, and I got it. And I
That
majored
is
in
awesome.
jazz program. So yeah, that was kind of like the launching pad for me to get going with my career. And then after doing 2 years at Humber, I got asked if I would go to Seoul, South Korea to perform.
That was quick. Oh, hold on a second. Joan is saying, was it the Ebony Fashion Show?
No,
No.
no.
No,
I
Joan.
think it
Come
was
again.
Project Runway. Now that's coming to me. Project Runway.
February. Okay. Okay. So you went to South Korea that early, that young.
Yes. It was difficult because we were gone for 4.5 months. And it was around, so my birthday, I was in Korea, South Korea, and Christmas, I was in South Korea. I was never away from my family over Christmas or my birthday. So there was a lot of crying, but there was also a lot of growing in that time. So
I love that. I love the fact that you, from an early age, you experienced so much and you got a world view. But what is so beautiful is that you knew that there was some, even though you didn't know exactly what you were called to be, you knew that there was something significant and special about you, and you stood in it. And
yeah, I don't know if I knew something was special about me.
but you knew you were gifted. So even if you
I
wouldn't
knew
know
I
what you,
was gifted with something, but I
yeah,
chose not to be a dentist, not to be a doctor, not to be a scientist, not to be an engineer, not to be a lawyer, all the white collar type of
hmm,
careers. I was like, that's not me, and music. I just love it.
okay, and you still love it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite genre of music?
Gospel.
And who inspires you? Like in when you look at the musicians, because you mentioned Whitney Houston first,
Yeah.
and but when you look at those who have inspired your music, who would you say those people would be?
Well, right now, I would say it's Canadian artists who I love and I could call my friends. I listen to Karen Jules all the time.
Oh, she's amazing.
I love I love her album,
And
Element
it's
79. I love that album so much. I love Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
Lisa Banton. My goodness.
Yes.
Like incredible. Um, Julie Crochetier. Phenomenal.
I don't know that name.
Yep. She's from, I believe, Quebec or Montreal. And she had her stardom being on that TV show where they pretty much made a group, and it was Sugar Jones, and she was a part of that. And then she branched out into doing her own career, and I've always loved her creativity. Um, who else inspires me? Um, Jully Black, Divine Brown. Like,
Mm.
there's so many Canadian artists that I look at, and I'm like, wow. I think I even posted about it a few months ago before I started writing. I was like, you know what? You guys are inspiring me to write some great music right now. And I wanted to shout them out because it's not just only about American artists. Yes, they're on our airwaves a lot, but we have a lot of talent here.
I just so love how you just called out some amazing artists,
Mm.
amazing Canadian artists. Normally, when you ask that question to an artist, you start hearing artists that are not even here, and
Oh,
you went straight Canadian.
Canadian, Alana Bridgewater, Divine Brown. You
Because,
know, they're all incredible to me.
yeah, and you know what? I'm so glad, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Joan Pierre here because Joan doing events with Joan is how, like, I think I met you because through Joan doing
Yeah.
events with Joan.
And Joan inspired me with my other hat, along with Dwayne Morgan, with producing shows.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
know?
So is that how the QW production? So let's flow into some of what you do. So the
Yeah.
QW Productions, what's that all about? Because you mentioned Joan and she's inspiring you. Joan, you're getting some shout outs here.
Yes, Joan Pierre. You know, I just saw a void within our music industry in highlighting like talent, especially Black artists. So I started QW Productions with the show The Power of Love,
Mhm.
celebrating the life and music of Luther Vandross. Um, that started from a dream I had. It was September 3rd or September 4th of 2013. I woke up in the middle of the night crying because I was hearing Luther Vandross's song in my head, Creep. And I just said, I miss his voice so much. How are we going to honor this man? Like, I felt like our music was dying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, stuff that you love. I'm like, who's gonna replace him or bring that along? And I wasn't seeing any of that. So right away that night, I started to put my dream on paper. Started naming out the artists that I think would be great for this show, and then it just started to snowball into a bigger thing. So weeks later, I was like, maybe I should start a QW Productions, a company. So then I got the
Wow,
logo
Keisha.
design, and then I got the website design, and then I find myself looking at government websites and registering my company, and then I'm selling tickets, and then it's on the radio, and I'm just like, what's going on here? And we had an incredible show. Michael Pinball,
Clemens.
sorry, yes, Michael Pinball, right?
Clemens.
Clemens, thank you, and his
Yes.
wife Diane Clemens. They were there. They arrived. The late Fitzroy Gordon came. It was just so many people coming out of the woodworks coming to the show, and I still remember Mr. Fitzroy Gordon speaking to me after, and he's like, "Why are there not more like shows like this?"
Wow.
And he said, whatever we can do, we're going to help you. Now, unfortunately, he has passed away, and
Hmm.
but um, I still hold on to those words, and so QW Productions is still going. We have such a vast audience, and
And
we're just
you really put on good quality shows. And Keisha, I'm just telling you, and I know Joan goes to every show. I
she's
could
so
I
supportive.
could be like busy and she's like, I'm going without you. I'm gone. You know?
She's such a huge supporter, and I'm so grateful. Like, I my first show that was sold out, I think, was either the Tina Turner one or I think it was Gladys Knight. The place was packed out, and I know Joan was there. And I just couldn't stop beaming. So the next leg is getting these shows into theaters, soft
Mm.
theaters. So my Tina Turner production was in the theater for Newmarket. So they took a chance on me and they loved it. They said it was just rave reviews, standing ovation at the end. And so,
So we're already starting to talk about you're ready in the next phase of Quisha Wint Productions is theater. So
yeah.
that means theater, movies. Okay, people, you said theater. I went movies.
We're
Yeah.
already doing movies already.
No, no, no. The Keisha.
I was a part of the Clark sisters biopic
I remember that,
and also Self Made.
but now you need to be a lead.
Oh,
I'm talking
I
lead,
will work on that.
but lead. Songstress, Quisha Wint. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You know what? When you speak things into existence, I truly feel that it works. you
You,
just
you know what? You can't.
it's-
I always say we can't outdream God.
That's right.
We can't outdream God. So I'm just like QW Productions. Okay. Um, Keisha, you're an arranger, you're a songwriter. Like how many your albums? Like I was listening to this song, and I was saying this is such a perfect song for now. Um, okay, I'm gonna just YouTube or Facebook. Just hold with us. I don't own the rights to the song. Keisha owns the rights to the song, and I'm just gonna play this little song. I remember, and I feel it's like such a great song for now. I have it on my phone. And let me tell you, we got to buy Canadian artist music, people. Okay, this song here. Freedom, take me to a natural high where I can see. You probably should sing it live, I'm just saying. You can sing. We can have our own concert here. You can sing because then they won't cut me off. So I'm just saying.
Oh, they won't cut you off.
I love this song.
Thank you.
Okay. Just tell people, just sing a little bit of those lyrics to that song. Just that next line. Do you
So, yeah, yeah. I gotta be strong to close some doors.
And I love the lyrics.
Steps forward, my past is gone. The future is here. I have no fear. I lift up my head to the sky. I no longer live in the past. There's freedom to hold up my head high. I hold my head high. I hold my head high. I love that song.
I love that song. I probably shouldn't let you sing that song because now I'm tearing up. See, a good thing. It's a good thing I got the tissues. I said I'm not gonna need tissues for this show, and there you go. There's just something so beautiful about this song, and maybe we need to end with this song as well. I don't know what we're gonna do, but anybody listening right now, and you're having a hard time. It's COVID. Life is happening. Jobs are coming and going. Hold your head up to the sky, and it's such Keisha, you always have this consciousness within you. You're people they don't see the advocacy work that you do. Like when we have conversations or in our small groups, we hear the politician in you. You even ran
I
for
did.
politics.
Stepped out
Keisha,
in faith and ran. Yes.
and I was so proud of you because even though you didn't get it, you put your heart in it. You spoke for the people, and you continue to speak for the people. And so this song, what made you do this song?
This came out of a very hard time in my life. Um, I went through a divorce.
Mm,
I was married for a very short time, but my heart was broken. Um, I didn't leave, he left.
mm,
And so it came to a point where I asked Carlos Morgan and Michael Shand for a writing session. Let's write some music. And I think it was around this time, January of 2011, February 2011. And we sat down at Carlos Morgan's home at the time. And I just remember them saying, "So what's been going on in your life?" And I had tears in my eyes. And I said, I can finally hold my head up high.
Mm.
And Michael started playing those keys that you hear.
Oh my God, he's such an amazing. Oh,
He's phenomenal. And I just started to pen those words: freedom, take me to a natural high where I can see the wisdom in knowing who I truly am in spite of me. And those words for me, it's because looking at myself, I know it takes two,
yes.
right, to tango. And I know that's not all his fault, my ex-husband's fault. It's not all my fault, but I know that there was things that I had to take a look at internally for myself and to fix. Um, and by doing that, there's also that sense of rejection.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
a man walks away from you, or whoever, when they walk away from you, you feel that rejection. And I felt the brunt of that rejection for so long.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in time in my life, I realized, wow, God loves you, Quisha. He loves you just how you are, who you are. And that's how that song was birthed out. It was that album for me was really my second baby next to my son, because it was it was it was to help others, but also just to release it.
It's
Release
it's
everything
funny.
that was
It's
inside.
funny how an artist, and I always admire you guys. Whether it's you're a poet, a writer, a dancer, you are always able to extrapolate either your joy or your sorrow or your anger and put it into such beautiful music. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cry again because I just feel there's just something about it. And Keisha, I thank you for your vulnerability. And we say now vulnerability is a new currency, but not many people can handle being vulnerable. But
Yeah,
you're always so honest and true with it, and I so appreciate that in you.
thank you.
And I know many of us do. Look, listen, you have people listening all the way from Trinidad, listening in hot Trinidad. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Keisha. That's Doreen. You know, and Carl is saying much love, and somebody is actually asking, direct me to the song. Okay, the album is called.
The
I can tell
journey.
them. Tell them
Yeah,
the
the
thing.
album is called The Journey. You could still get it on iTunes, I
Hmm.
think, Amazon.
Hmm.
I do have a couple of hard copies if anybody wants it. Just send me an email and I will definitely send you one. Um, but yeah, that song is still being played on the radio station. There's so many connections. It's being played in the UK, Asia. Um, I'm just grateful. Like, I never put out that album for it to get played, to be honest. It was like I just wanted to put out an album for to have legacy,
You know
so
what? I still have that album. I actually think I have an extra copy. So if I do find the extra copy, somebody, if I find it, I might even give it to
someone could give it, yeah, give it.
Shirley Joseph. Can you stream it on Spotify? I believe you can, Shirley.
Yes,
Yeah, you can stream it on Spotify.
yeah.
And Keisha Wint a drum roll as well. I tell you, no.
Oh,
And
because I play drums.
yes, yes, we said that earlier, Carl. I mean, like Sunday, a lot of us found out from Keisha's social media that so Keisha could play the drums and sing at the same time. It's a family friendly show, so I
Oh
can't
my
say what I
goodness.
want to say. Oh, like Keisha
Well,
Wint.
you
I
know,
almost fall off the bed.
I love music so much, so I do know how to play a bit of keys. I have a bass and a guitar here because I want to learn. But I started playing drums when I was about 10 or 12 years old. Again, it's in that age range. And I still always had it. I have a drum set in my basement. So when
Does
I'm
your
feeling,
son? Does your son play music? Is he
he
into
was
music?
playing music, but I feel he's going to regret it down the road when he's like, why did I stop playing?
Soon, soon, soon come again. Soon come. You know what, Keisha? I think I'm brewing an idea right now. After the show,
Yeah.
I won't say it out loud, but I'm feeling something for Family Day. Okay, I hope you're available. Feel like we need to do a little Family Day, something here next week, Monday. We might, I'm just throwing it out at you there.
All right.
If anybody's interested, But as we're talking about music,
Mhm.
let's go into something that's so key here: the artists. What is it like to be an artist in Canada? Holy schmoly, Batman. Let's get real. Let's get down and clean and dirty at the same time.
Well, an artist, for in my perspective, I
Yes.
think it's been a wonderful journey. I think it takes a lot of passion and hard work
Mm-hmm.
combined together to get you through, because there's not really a lot of platforms for Black artists. Um, I also am quite versatile with the type of music I listen to. So you would not only hear me singing gospel music or R&B, but you'll hear me singing jazz music. You'll hear me singing rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Singing backgrounds for other artists. I think, um, especially in Canada, you have to be well uh, versed and well diversed in all genres of music in order for you to make it, so to speak. So,
And then so Joan is jumping in here and she's being even more specific. But now to be a black artist in Canada, what is that like?
it's difficult. Again, like there's not a lot of platforms for us to perform. I find that there's this stigma with Black artists. You
Mm.
know, I don't know what it is, but people look at us and think we're always late, we're unprofessional, and I am trying to erase that stigma as to why, with my company, QW Productions, I don't tolerate lateness.
Yeah, yeah.
My shows start on time, because I don't want to penalize the people who have arrived early. I'll penalize the people who have arrived late,
Great. Yeah.
right?
You've learned from the best because we've never started, like, if we started a show late, it's because of some technical difficulty. We've never
That's right.
started a show late.
That's right. But my
Yeah.
shows don't start late at all. And I think people appreciate that because I'm respecting their time.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of come from a different angle, I guess. So for me personally, I don't find it too difficult, but I know a lot of Black artists that do.
What
Uh,
are some of the challenges the black artists are facing? Um,
well,
so,
they
some of the key ones.
so for instance, like there's not a lot of radio stations that are playing Black music. I could say, yeah, they are. They're playing urban music, but
Yeah.
it's with other nationalities and
Mm-hmm.
mostly white artists singing our type of music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing's really changed. This has been going on for decades. Um, and so I think what it is we need to get more Black owned radio stations out there. Now, people are doing a lot of live stream radio stations,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing. And that's
Yeah.
getting people's music out there.
That might
Um,
even be one of the key ways for black artists to even make it out there with it, because
Absolutely.
it can control the space even more
That's
than
right.
before. Yeah.
That's right. And I just feel that a lot of Black artists are just so um, different with how they think when it comes to creating that it
Mhm.
doesn't fit into the niche and mold of a record label company. So, and that's tough because you're looking at record label companies that are trying to, sculpt you into a certain mold so that they can market you. Well, that's the business because that's how they're trying to make money.
Right. Yeah.
And so you stepping out in faith and saying, I'm going to do my own thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
And persevering that I think is huge in this day and age. But Black artists do have a lot of hardships, but I think the game is changing now a lot more with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and a lot more awareness and people, looking more at the injustices of what has happened to
Hmm.
Black people, especially in industries like the music industry. And
Yeah.
they're having discussions, they're having panel discussions about it and wanting to hear our side. So now there's no blinders on. They're now looking. If you see now, if you look on social media or any job site, they're like, oh, we're catering more to. We want to see some Black people, Indigenous
Mhm.
people, especially with the movie and TV sector.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're specifically looking. Just recently was it just announced that in partnership with Insight TV, which who runs the Junos and all these amazing productions that we see in Canada, there's going to be now a Black Awards.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's going to be uh, for artists like actors, dancers, you name it, all sectors of, the entertainment.
Oh, we're gonna have to look into that. That
Community.
sounds
Yeah, there's
really
an
cool.
article that came out about 2 weeks ago, and it's like so now things are starting to bubble to the surface and allow us the opportunity to shine as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But
The other thing that I'm concerned about, that comes in my mind, and I know we've had this conversation. I think it was something we were just texting each other last week or something when we said, Black History Month
oh,
can be the busiest. Come on, Keisha, now just listen. Black
you
History
want to hear me
Month.
on this?
Come on, no. Hey, I think I take
Hey,
myself on the camera.
see how
Hey,
I came close to the camera with this one,
boomerang effect.
right? It's the busiest month. That is pretty much the worst month financially for Black people.
And why is that, beloved?
Because we find that people, first of all, last minute
Mm-hmm.
would like something for Black History Month, and it's always for free. Um, you know, Very rare do they offer an honorarium, and I feel that's horrible. Like we should be getting paid for what we do. This is our livelihood. This is not a side job. Um, and then you get requests for new music. Can you learn these songs? It takes time to learn songs. It takes time to make art. It takes time to write poetry. It takes time to gather up your words to do a speech in front of how many people. You
Talk
know,
about it, Keisha.
it takes time, and so I would just like to, just tell people, please, before you approach someone to do something for Black history, please think about, supporting them properly.
Because you cannot just be supporting the culture. And if you don't want to get raw with it, I'm going to get raw with it because you're just being so sophisticated tonight, Keish. I'm loving it. But I get upset as an event planner
Mhm.
that people have the audacity every time to ask artists to play for free. They also have to eat. It is also something that they have worked at, that they have studied at, that they have spent time and sacrifice for. There, if your vocal cords go, that's part of your thing. If your fingers, if you're a guitarist, a keyboardist, that affects your livelihood.
That's right.
If you're a drummer, like I remember being yesterday, they were taping for a TV show, and I went with some folks, and you're looking at all these artists having to be COVID up. The drummers have to drum, and they're not playing as often. They're tired, but you want so much from them, and you're trying to get gigs. The way people are trying to get gigs now, and then you want to pay them next to nothing. But you can sit in your corporate job, and I'm sorry, and not pay them what they're worth. But you will bring great executives who are making thousands of dollars a month and feel it's okay to give an artist $100. So let's start talking about pricing, because
Whew.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that's going to be my swear word tonight. Normally it's a complimentary word, but it's because I can't.
Yeah.
When you are going to hire an artist, beautiful people out there
Mm.
in the world of hiring, you're not just hiring for that day, that moment, that 5 minute song. Can you break that down to people when you,
For
because you
me
have the
to
formula.
learn, for me
Think-
to learn a song, I literally have to hear it and listen to it repetitively for about a good maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, so that I can internalize
Mhm.
the words, internalize the music, so that when I am ready to perform it for your event, it comes off as natural. I'm not looking at an iPad. I am just singing from my heart. And so it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to also do vocal warm-ups. Make sure I'm in good standing with my own chords. I want to make sure everything's working well. Um, we got gas. We have to put gas in the car to come to your event. Sometimes some of us have to get a babysitter to come
And
to.
then they want you to sing a cappella sometimes, because sometimes you have to sing a cappella. You have to have music. If you have to bring a musician with you, all
Yeah.
these things.
And some people are not comfortable with those things. Like I could sing a cappella, I could sing with a musician, but some people are like they need someone with them because they might have a bit of stage fright.
Yeah.
Um, and it's very important also with the equipment. Like you can't invite me to an event and come bring out a little ghetto blaster and say, okay, sing to this.
It's just work. And then if you don't sound good, they're upset with you.
Exactly. I'm like,
and this was one of my reasons for doing the show tonight. There were several reasons for doing this show tonight, and I picked you because I know what you're doing out there. You're an activist, you're an entertainer you're an artist. You're not just an entertainer, because people look at artists just as entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Come to the show. It's like and we need to garner some serious respect for artists. It's it's my pet peeve, it's Joan's pet peeve, it's your pet peeve, and some of the other folks that we deal with. We need to start treating our artists with respect, and our Canadian artists. I mean, this show is in Canada. If you're watching live and on the replay in a different country, even for your artists, all artists need respect. Like I looked at last night, The Weeknd. Now,
I didn't see it, by the way, but I heard about it at the dentist.
Whether I like The Weeknd's music or not, okay? Here is this youth. He was a youth back then, as they say in Toronto. Who was homeless, who has made his money. As I say, his lyrics may not always be my cup of tea, but that's beside the point. He took his own money.
Yep.
And at first, I will tell you, I'll be honest, I was like, why didn't you take that money and but that young man has invested in Toronto.
Yes.
And then somebody made a really good point and said, he did invest the money, Nicole. He hired a whole bunch of people to put on that production.
Yeah. So that he could have full control of what he's doing. I look at it like there's a shift happening. Like kudos to him for doing that. I think he spent $7 million.
$7 million.
Just to make sure it was done correctly, that no one was telling him what to do. How he wanted to artistically display, his music and who he is.
I'm like, the Grammys dissed him, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you know what you should do, good old Weekend. You should now go and put on your own show the night of the Grammys. And you know who should host that show? Anybody listening out there? Tiffany Haddish.
Oh my goodness.
So could you imagine they dissed Tiffany Haddish, and here's the Weekend, and all the guys, all the supporters come and say, you know what? We're going to put on our own show the same night as the Grammys. I'm just saying. That was just a little controversial moment in the Victory Speak show. Please don't take it personally. Anyone listening out there. But this is how passionate I feel about artists and the fact that we need to respect you and what you do. And so when I think about that, I also think about this organization that you're a part of. This Canadian, what is it? The Canadian Black Entertainment.
Yes.
Let's shift into there for a hot minute.
Sure, absolutely.
Because I think it might be a nice segue into, because like, why you're part of this? What is this organization about? I love, I love some of what I saw, but you tell me more.
Well, okay. So how this came about was I went to a festival here in Toronto, and I was very disappointed with the production, what was going on stage, everything. And I'm a detailed person. I get that from you and Joan. Like, you guys are very detailed with how you guys do things, but I'm very detailed. So there's times when I've gone to concerts, not for the artist, but I'm looking at everything else. I'm looking at the ambiance, the lighting and stuff like that, because it inspires me with creativity and what I would like to do in the future. Right. And so what happened was I left there just like, what is going on in Toronto?
Mm.
Like it was poorly attended. They had the SOS Band as the headliner, and there was barely even 50 people there. And because I was friends
Wow.
with somebody, which by the way, Shamakah Ali, he's the drummer from that you're
Shamakah, I couldn't say his name.
Shamakah Ali used to play with the SOS Band. So he got me in to this concert, and SOS Band was very disappointed with what was
I
going
am
on.
shocked.
So, as a producer myself, I said there needs to be some kind of referendum.
Mhm.
We need to change things around. We need to
Yes.
gather some of the strong producers within our community, come together and try and bring some kind of level of excellence into production, especially Black
Mhm.
productions. So we're looking at that, but then it started to go into, you know what, our artists, Black artists, do they feel appreciated?
Mhm.
Are they loved? Do they know how much they're loved? If they knew how much we adored them, wouldn't that help them to create more and keep going with their
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
in the music industry? And so we decided to say Canadian Black Entertainment's mission is to create, celebrate, and promote Black artistry. So
Love it.
it was some time, because for me, I'm a bit of a procrastinator. I admit it to everybody. I'm a bit of a procrastinator, and what I do is like I like to just chew on something.
So you're not procrastinating. You are
To
flushing out
everybody
the
else,
idea. You're flushing out the idea. See,
pushing
okay.
out the
So
idea.
I'm gonna pull you back a bit because
Okay.
victory speaks. We talk about is what we speak, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So procrastination is really an emotional response to something that is may slow us down, but it's really not. This procrastination word brings us into this cesspit. You were chewing on some things. You were ruminating. You were vision casting, but you were not procrastinating.
Yes, but it's hard when you have other people who are,
But
they
that's their style. That
yeah.
has nothing to do with you.
I have such a wonderful team. Like they're the board, and they've been really supportive of the ideas and putting things together. So right now, what we're doing is actually last year in June for Black Music Month,
Yeah.
we launched this huge campaign blitz where we just celebrated Black artistry, and we just laced up social media with photos of most of our Black artists. Like
Right.
what was so beautiful is that we didn't have enough time. June 30th came and we ran out. So that shows you that
Yeah.
we have a voice here. So what are we going to do about it? How do we continue to celebrate them? So now we've taken it on to doing IG Live with CBE, and we're doing live interviews on Instagram on
That's
Wednesday,
awesome.
7 p.m. with 2 artists per day. Like honestly, we should do it every day, but it'd be a lot of work. But we're doing it right now for Wednesdays.
What Wednesdays at what time? So I'll make sure that
That's
I
it.
don't clash with. I'll make sure I don't clash with you now. So
No, that's it. Yeah, Wednesday, 7 p.m. and it's
okay.
Canadian Entertainment.
So
So
I feel like
on it,
Keisha, I feel like we need to do something on Family Day. Did I say that before? Okay.
yes, you did. It would depend on the time, because I know I have a couple of things to do with my child.
Listen, we can create everything. He can be the producer. Your son,
Yes.
he is so creative because I remembered in COVID, right? So let's get to but
Yeah.
but
He's been cooking. He's
listen,
making videos.
he did this video with you at COVID time, which that was just so amazing when you dressed up to go for the when you dressed up to go to the garbage bin.
Oh, my recycling.
Your recycling video. We,
Extrovert.
we need to bring some more. We need to bring a couple more of that. We need to put some of those on reels. But
Oh my goodness. That was
he's so talented. So how can people support this initiative that you're doing with Canadian Black Entertainment?
well, first, it's still a grassroots
Mm-hmm.
stage. So I would say just follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. Twitter, we don't really understand. We just said forget Twitter right now, but we're doing
Can't
Instagram.
forget Twitter. You and I will have you and I are going to have a Twitter
No,
conversation.
I can't deal with Twitter. It's just another level that I'm just like, huh? But anyhow, with Canadian Black Entertainment, we have not done a Twitter page, but we've done a Instagram page.
You should park it though. You should park it though, Keish. You should get it and park it. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna get you a clubhouse page.
yeah.
Hey, we're gonna bring you in the club.
We'll see. I'll have to talk to the board about it. But I think
Talk to the board.
we'll talk to the board. But that's the best thing to do is support, and that's what I keep striving for is people support. And we also now have a YouTube channel up, so we've been
So we need to follow you on YouTube. What's the YouTube channel?
Canadian Black Entertainment.
Okay, Canadian Black Entertainment. We're gonna follow you on YouTube. Okay, so before I go to the next thing, okay, so the ideas are flowing. Hold on.
Yes.
The village is speaking. It's not procrastination. It's your mind making connections and building like a carpenter before taking action to measure twice, cut once. Hey, Shirley
I
Joseph.
love that.
Listen,
I love that.
if you are a Black content creator and you're not following Shirley Joseph, you need to wake up.
Oh, wow.
This is an awakening. And actually,
I love that.
when I first got into podcasting last year, this woman and Tristan Barracks were the ones I was like, I was in their lives. I was in their lives. I learned so much. And now we are doing every other week Black content creators on Clubhouse.
Okay.
And last week we started it for the first time, and we were amazed by how many Canadian Black creators came on and were speaking and telling us what they were doing. The talent that we have in this country, people have no idea. Now, I like Brandy's idea. Keisha,
Brandy gave you an idea, which is?
driveway concerts. Hey,
You know what? We were going to do one. We were
I'm
going to
feeling
do one
it.
just before the lockdown.
So we need a winter driveway concert.
Yeah, I don't know about the winter because it's hard
Listen.
to be outside in the winter.
Keisha, we're gonna make this work. You're gonna get you a heater. You're gonna get a fur coat, right? With a hot toddy. You just have to start on the outside and then bring it on the inside.
You know what? I would love to. I'd probably do like an hour or so. But you know what? There's people that were doing it downtown Toronto in certain areas. And you know what bugs me? Is that now an agent has now taken on the role of booking
What?
driveway. Yes. So now an agent's taking money away from these artists. Yeah, I'm like, this is what happens to.
So Canadian Black Entertainment
Yes.
will now host driveway concerts for Canadian Black artists. I'm just creating on demand here. You know I'm a creator, right? I learned from you.
Definitely.
My production mind is going a mile a moment here. Not even a mile a minute. It's going a mile a moment. And I think sometimes it's good to have, you see, just literally how you sang just now. Sometimes it's good to have those spontaneous concerts when the move hits you. It's
Yeah.
just to say, like, I remember one day when Toya Alexis is back in Toronto.
Yes.
I was like, Toya, what you doing? Nothing. I say, okay, we going on live. Sometimes you just need to say, okay, let's just go on. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Even if it's for half an hour, let's just do it. You see, look, Joan, Pierre chiming in. I am in. Okay? You have your promoters, you have your agents, and we're not going to be charging those kind of monies here.
Ah,
Yeah.
just
So-
want to support and celebrate the artists, Get it out.
And we have to. This is why it's so important. I'm looking at so many artists like yourself releasing music. Gary Beale's releasing something.
Yes.
Karen Jules has released something recently. So many artists are releasing, and we must support. And Keisha, remember you were telling me, I think it was you were telling me, but I've been talking to so many artists about the difference when somebody downloads a song versus when somebody buys a song.
Yes. Yeah.
It's different in the payment.
Yeah. So downloading and buying is the same thing. If you buy, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon. However, when you are just playing it on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
artists are only getting 0.0002 cents a spin. We don't even make a cent on the spin. So that is why you'll hear me say all music platforms. I'm not too specific when I ask for the support, but I will say try and spin it to iTunes or Apple Music so that we can get more than a cent.
Less than that wasn't a cent, Keisha.
No, yeah, it's
That
less
was
than a cent. Less than
so.
a
So
penny.
for all the folks out there, please educate tonight. Just educate, educate
Yes.
as
So
to how musicians
Spotify
are
is not
paid.
for artists.
And if you can
Spotify.
buy the album, buy the album.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
right now,
download it and put it into your phone. Own
that's
the rights to your album to help the artist make a little more.
and
You're
here's the thing.
enjoying the music.
Yeah, and here's the thing. My analogy about an album. You see, do you go to Chapters or Indigo and say you want to buy only chapter
Chapter.
3 and 7 of a book? No, you buy the entire book. You get the whole cover,
That's
and
good.
you read it and you understand where the author is going with it. And that's the same thing with the music project, like a CD. When an artist has made a CD of 10 songs, it is a story. They're trying to convey something to you seamlessly through all 10 songs. And so that's why it's instead of just buying the single or one song that you like, buy the entire album. Because at times, sometimes the whole album, you might like that one song, but over time, that entire album will become your favorite because you're getting a message in it. So stop buying one chapter, piece here. Buy the entire book.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put you up like this. Say that again.
So the analogy I have is that when you go to a bookstore like Indigo or Chapters, you don't go in and pick up a book, say like a Michelle Obama book, Becoming, and say, I only want to purchase chapter 3 and 7. You buy the entire book. At times, sometimes not even reading anything else but the insert or the back of the book. And you just pick it up and you take it home to read. Same thing like an album. Try not to just buy one song out of the person's album because they've put so much heart and soul into creating that album. Some of these albums can range from between $20,000 all the way up to hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on who the artist is. And so support the artist by buying the entire album because they have a story to tell you through that entire project. So support them.
Drop the mic, walk away. No, we're not going to end the show right now, but I want to on that note because it is so powerful. Please, 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 because Keisha, when I look at what you are doing, what other artists are doing, they're putting their heart and soul into it. You're producing your own concerts. You're putting your own money, your
Mhm.
resources. You're a mom. You're not working a 9 to 5. Some artists are able to have a 9 to 5. You are doing this doggone thing full time. This is
Yeah,
your this is your livelihood,
this is
and
my
for
livelihood.
so many artists. And so we were joking about, the munchkin, though he's not a munchkin anymore. Because last time I saw him, he was a munchkin.
Yeah, he's my big
Shame.
fan here.
Um, and COVID.
Yes.
And how has that? So I think it's a meshing of the two because it's Black Lives Matter, COVID, and then we have black shoes. I should have worn my black shoes, but it wasn't matching the outfit. Um, what's been happening with COVID, Black Lives Matter? How has that affected you? Because now you're into a new project. I know I asked you 3 questions in one. I hate doing that, but what can I say? I'm
Okay.
just going to break my own
That's
rules.
okay. So yeah, as you know, I'm very vulnerable and letting people know my life here and there. Funny thing is I am a very private person, but there are some things that I'm like, no, I gotta let people know so that they know that they can make it through themselves too. So the whole pandemic really took a toll on me. There was just so many things happening. I was actually getting ready to leave my 14 plus year part-time role job as a music and creative arts director at my home church. I had handed in my resume in January. My last date was June 30th. So we're now in the thick of this pandemic. All concerts that I was booked for, I'm getting emails saying canceled. I was going to headline on 2 stages I've never headlined before in my life. And it was going to be in Panama at their music festival,
Wow.
also in Australia. in July, and so that was all gone. So the effects and depression was starting to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was also trying to deal with the teenager school.
Homeschooling.
I was now teacher at home, trying to get him doing his schoolwork and motivated to do
Yeah.
it. I'm doing video editing because church was closed. I'm now become video editor. And with video editing and doing the songs, you've got to sing everybody's part so that it goes in sync on the video. I was doing
Wow.
everything, and I was only getting probably 3 or 4 hours sleep a night. So that was taking a toll on me. I was not eating properly. And then you see George Floyd being murdered. And that was the catalyst that broke the emotional
Mm,
dam in me. I cried every day, ended up in the hospital. They thought I had suffered a mild heart attack.
that was
So
scary.
they admitted me in. Yep, they admitted me in, but it was, at the end result, it was stress and anxiety. And that in that time, while I was in the hospital room, there was a double occupancy room, and I was in the COVID ward of the hospital, but I
Mm-hmm.
had the room to myself. And I felt like God really orchestrated that, because he was like, I need you to rest. I need you to rest. So it was just me and the beeping machine beside me, checking my blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure and stuff. And so the next morning, the cardiologist came in, and she's a wonderful, wonderful cardiologist. And she sat down and talked to me like a sister.
Mm.
She wasn't a doctor. She just talked. She said, "What's going on in your life?" Everything came back beautiful. My heart's beautiful. So,
Right.
but so she's like, "What's going on?" So I started to talk about it, everything that was going on in my life at that point in time. And we put a plan in place for me to get better and to get back to where I need to be. Because I believe in Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the analogy that came to me was Peter, the story of Peter when Jesus walked on water, and
Water. Mm-hmm.
Jesus said, "Peter, come outside, come off the boat and come and walk on the water." And Peter started walking. I'm Peter. I'm
Yeah.
walking. And I had my eyes on Jesus. And then all of a sudden I took my eyes off Jesus and I started sinking. And I'm like, ah!
Yes.
That's
Yes.
exactly what was going on in my life at that point. And I realized I got to put my focus back on him. And so that's exactly what I did. I still wasn't out of the woods. When I got released from the hospital, about 3 or 4 days, I just cried still.
Mm.
And I finally got out of my depression. It was a lot of hard work, but I started reading the Bible, started praying, and then started making routine for myself. So the 3 words I had was meditate, rejuvenate, create.
I love that. Meditate, rejuvenate,
Rejuvenate,
create.
create. And so that's when the creating process started. I said, guys, let's get together. Let's write some music. That's where the QW Productions
Wow.
Jam was birthed out of, because I said, let's get together, let's play some music. So we'd play it, I would record it, we would air it. But then there was a period of time I said, let's write some music. So we get into the room. Here comes Black Shoes. They all walk into the room, and I am jokey with them because I am so in love with the fact I'm seeing people. This pandemic's been hard, not being able to hug people or anything, but we came into a room, we're joking around, and I said, look, everybody's wearing black shoes with white soles. What's going on? Dress code in effect. And then after our little banter, the guys started, they said, Quisha, what are you looking to do? What kind of, I said, just start playing something, play a groove. They started playing the groove that is now Black Shoes. And
Wow.
I jokingly sang, black shoes, you keep coming round my way. And the words were just flowing, just coming out. I record everything so that I can remember, down the road. And you know what happened? All of a sudden, thank you, Sherwin. All of a sudden, um, I was like, there's something here. There's something here. So when we came back together and started looking at the lyrics and stuff, we realized we can pen it a certain way that it's metaphorically related to the issues that Black people have been
Mm.
facing for far too long. And so that people would be aware, would cause people to ponder,
Yes.
ask questions,
Yes.
and you know, and say, okay, what are we going to do? Because I
Hmm.
think the best type of advocates and activists are when they use their voice, and I use my voice through music. And so there you have it. I did the video, so you knew that I told you that I did a little bit of video editing.
You want
So
to teach me? I'm coming to Keisha school. I'm serious.
I created the video, and everybody's on a budget. So that's one thing entrepreneurs know how to do is they know how to reinvent and create things even out of nothing. And I don't have money to hire video people, like big expensive video companies to do a video. So this concept came into my mind of a black background and just my face. And so I asked my church tech director, Terry Donor, do you mind filming my first music video? He's like, okay, what are you thinking? And I just told him what, and he's like, yeah, we could come up with something. So I went to the church, sat there on the platform.
Wow.
He made it all black, and it was just me. And then I had my other friend Colin there with me, and he was my other eyes, just to see
Yeah.
if everything was
Yeah.
right, the hair and stuff like that. Because I didn't have hair and makeup people on set. I did my own makeup. I did my own hair.
Keisha.
And so we did 5 takes, and we were like, okay, that's it. And I went home and started creating the video. So Black Shoes has been playing now in the UK. It was introduced in New Orleans on Saturday. I was playing on CBC radio today, first time hearing it. G98.7 is apparently supposed to start playing it tomorrow. Um,
Whoa, whoa. Listen, if you people have not seen this video, you need to. I just if you've heard the song, you need to start showing Keisha some love with your hearts and your. I am like, I didn't even know you did the video yourself. I was like, this looks good. This looks. I'm like, Keisha Wint, seriously?
yeah, it was a hard process for me because every time I started at the tail end of the video, the song, because I always wanted the names of people who have passed on.
Listen, you see the end of that video.
Mm.
Listen, I was literally, and I might still do it. I was sitting there looking at it. I think I'm going to take screenshots of this whole video, and I'm just going to send it out there. That last shot with all those names, I would start speaking a different language if I knew one right now.
Wow. You
That
know,
that shot just blew me to heck away.
yeah, thank you. You know what? And that's from, I think, Harvard University. That's something I found on the web. And what I wanted to do at first was just have the name scrolling behind me, going up,
Yeah,
And I
in
said,
front of
there's
your
not enough
face.
time. I said, there's not enough time to put all those names. And so when I saw the actual, picture of what they did, I said, I have to add this. And that's the end slide. But where I started to get heavily emotional is when I had the names of actual people who have died with their picture.
I would. I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess.
It, and one of them I know personally. I grew up with him. I remember going to Disney World with him, and he died by the police. The police killed him because he was having mental issues and wielding, they say, allegedly wielding a machete in Edwards Gardens in Toronto, and they killed him. And I'm like, do you not know how to disarm somebody?
Hmm. Hmm.
Aren't you not trained to disarm? And they killed him. So I made sure I paid homage to him. I wanted to continue his memory. And so his name is O'Brien Christopher Reed.
Hmm.
He's in there. But I remember him so well. Like, I still remember us being in the hot car when his mom and aunt thought that they had the AC blowing in the back of the vehicle. We're like, oh my gosh, but we went to Florida together and had a great time.
See, that's
So
what people don't understand. Mental illness. It takes on so many layers, and when somebody is in crisis, as a sidebar to this conversation, and so many people are experiencing different types of mental health issues or illnesses during COVID that they've never experienced before, they never understood before. And when somebody's in psychosis and they're paranoid and they're hallucinating,
Mm-hmm.
um, this is why we've been pushing so hard for. It's not about defunding the police. It's redirect. It's adding some
Right.
funds. It's
That's
it's
right.
new training for the police, and it's adding the mobile units, and it's adding the training. It's also educating our community as well, because when you don't accept the fact, when you have a loved one who is unwell, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't get the help early enough, and then we have a whole nother crisis where sometimes the beds aren't there, or we have the Mental Health Act that only allows the hospitals to keep them if they're in imminent danger.
Yes.
And what people don't understand, Keisha, is, did you know that somebody could be paranoid or um, even hallucinating?
Mm-hmm.
They are still considered to have consent and capacity, and they have to give permission to the doctor. They have to give the doctors permission to talk to their family members. And in that state, they're considered still to have capacity. And in that state, they are released from hospital because people, they can have actually what sounds like a normal conversation with them, but to those that know them, they will know that something is not right.
Right.
It is not normal, because it could be just like, for lack of a better analogy, like how you hear Donald Trump, people are believing it. They
Mm-hmm.
can believe it because he can sound like sensical to some people. But if he is not, if he or she is not proving an imminent danger to themselves, the hospitals has to release them. And
Right.
hence you have people coming back onto the streets or going back home without getting the full treatment that they need,
Mm-hmm.
until so, and this is how they get criminalized. This is how what happens to your beloved friend, and many of our loved ones have been um, not able to live anymore. And it's bigger than the police. People keep it down. It's actually the systemic racism that is built into the Mental Health Care Act, and that's what people don't
We don't
recognize. So
understand.
we
Yes.
have to really, advocate. And you said, you use your voice for advocacy, and we know that musicians have been a very huge voice in advocacy for us in particular. They've always been. Music tells a story. Music, people sometimes are able to receive the messages in music so much easier than when they hear, Nicole coming to give a speech, or John Brown coming to give a speech. But when they hear it in a song, it gets into their soul and they start singing the lyrics, like
Mm-hmm.
what you did in Black Shoes. And you know what I should have done? We should have put Black Shoes up here so we could have played it for them. But do you want to play a little bit of Black Shoes, and you can sing over it, or
Sure.
let's share some Black Shoes. I put up the link in the comments, beautiful people. If you're enjoying this conversation, I hope you are, and you're tuned in. Be sure to share it with your friends, live and on the replay. I am talking to the amazing Quisha Wint, activist. Right now, we're talking about her activist self. She's an artist. She's a producer. She's a writer. She's a songstress. She's a VP. She's an entrepreneur. She's a CEO. She is all that on a bag of chips and then some. So Keisha, I'm just going to turn it over to you
All
so we can
right.
hear a little bit about Black Shoes.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Black shoes, you keep coming round my way. You're looking so fine
400 years of oppression. I think you've left an impression. Why converse when you're so quick to hurt? Trusting you is not an option. Oh, black shoes with the white soles. Can't you see that you're worn out? I think you've been used and abused. You don't even know who you are anymore. What you gonna do when the road is rough? What you gonna do when you're standing up? What you gonna do when the ride gets tough? What you gonna do? That, I'm just saying, beautiful, beautiful, Keisha. That was so amazing. And I looked at the comments that the kids gave you when you went to that school the other day. The questions that they had for
Wow.
you. Yeah.
I was blown away. I actually thought it was like one class of probably maybe 25 students. And I arrived on the Google Meets chat and they're like, oh, there she is. Oh, there's 93 of us. And I'm like,
Wow. Wow.
so
That's good.
I feel truly, truly blessed with how well this single is being received by all age groups, all generations. I just
Well,
asked people to subscribe to my YouTube page and,
Soraya's like giving you applause and she's saying like she's loving it and thanks for your honesty.
ah,
Loving it. Gloria is like, yes.
hi, Gloria.
Yeah. No, Keisha, that is beautiful. And I put it up there for you. You can tune into YouTube, you can download it on from iTunes, you can visit Keisha's page on Twitter and Instagram. It's so simple. Keisha Wint. Like, it's so simple. just go to Quisha Wint, follow her on Twitter, follow on Instagram, go to her YouTube page, go to her website. If all else fails, everything about Quisha is on her website,
Yes.
QuishaWint.com. So I'm putting it all up here for you. You have no all excuses removed tonight. All excuses removed tonight. Visit KeishaWint.com for all things Quisha Wint. And so, Quisha, I'm just so grateful for you being here tonight. And before we go,
Yes.
I know you have a hope. What is the hope you have for yourself and other artists out there?
You know, I had two of my grandmothers. One died November 30th, 2017. The other one died July 22nd, 2018. They both died at the age of 96. So
What? Both of them.
both of
Wow.
them died at the age of 96, and they were best friends. They were really good together. Um, and they were like the matriarchs of our family. And I look at that and I realize, okay, at my age, I probably have about 52 years left
Mm,
on this earth if I live to see 96. And I want to live my life in my full purpose. I want to leave a legacy
hmm
that brings hope, that people can listen to my music and that they would say, wow, Quisha made a difference. And so, even with the QW Productions and Canadian Black Entertainment and Dandelions in the Wind, that uh, musical about racism, um, all of that, and Collective Music Nation, Quisha left her mark. And I just want to inspire young people in all ages, live your life to the fullest. Everyone has a purpose.
Keisha, you already leaving your mark, baby girl.
I hope.
You don't ever not know. If you didn't know, now you know. But you've left a mark already. You've left a mark on my heart and the hearts of many, and I know people that no one love you, that we know you've left a heart. Your heart is in our hearts. You bleed for us, you speak for us,
Hmm.
you advocate for us. I know your family loves you, and you have your beautiful son, and you have the iron sharpness around you, and you have your circle from your church and everywhere else, and you have a plethora of artists that you support, and Canada is better to have you, and the world is better to have you. If we can clone some more Keisha Nights, we're good. Calling them Keisha Nights, but I do know that there are many Canadian artists that you work with that have some of your heart and your soul, and you guys come together and you support one another. So, if there's anything that we can do, just make sure you tell us, make sure you tag us.
Thank
If
you.
there's any way, remind me when you're doing your lives on Instagram, so we'll put it out
Yes,
there.
I will. We're
Because
planning a concert. We're planning a virtual concert
yeah.
because the second single for my EP is going to be released March 1st, hopefully.
Also, just a week before Women's Day. Look at you.
Yeah, and the song is called "We Gotta Love." It's
Okay,
it's up tempo dance song.
I'm listening.
We're ready. We're
You're
ready.
you're ready. You're
We're ready.
ready. Who's
We're ready.
gonna be? Who's gonna be? Who's gonna be working on this one with you?
So it's the entire band that worked with me for Black Shoes, and it's going to be Trey Michael Bullen, who's going to be our videographer for this music video, and it's going to be so much fun. I have the concept, everything that I want to do in this music video. It's going to be so much fun, and I hope people will get that and just get the message. We've got to love each other. In order for us to get through anything, we got to love each other and stop looking at ourselves selfishly, but look at ourselves selflessly and know that there's other people out there that we can be loving. That's how you get
Yeah,
your you know
I
your
love it.
your goodness back. It's
It's
by
true.
loving other people.
It's so true. Keisha, I'm just so glad you were able to make time for me today and to be with our audience today. And if you're live on the replay, this is Keisha Wint. She's fabulous. I call her supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Voice, smooth like butter, sweet like coconut ice cream. Hey, you can tell my favorites. Say, I am the foodie,
You're
and
the
so
foodie.
I am the foodie.
As long as there's no raisins in that, you have no idea how I hate raisins.
Hi, beautiful Ed Marie Doyle. Hi, beautiful. So great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And if you missed some of it, you guys got to go back and check it out on the replay. I am so proud to call this woman friend,
Hey,
Lisa Edwards. Yes, listen, I am honored to be in her in part of her life that I could I want your autograph. I keep telling you this. You laugh at me. Joan Pierre, she laughs at me. Um, Joe says, loved it. So cool. Yeah, you like to laugh at me. I remember when I was in the Urban Music Association of Canada and I was working and all these people, Cardi and all these guys, I was like, can I just get the autograph now? Now, where can you find them?
where
So
can you find them?
can I just get it now, please? Okay. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, new to the fold, Victory Tribe people, I've been having this supercalifragilisticexpialidocious night with Miss Quisha Wint. And thank you for joining me, Keisha. Show her your love with your hearts. Be sure to download her song, Black Shoes, the album. Look out for the new release coming, hopefully March 1st.
Yeah,
Go to Quisha Wint to find out everything about Quisha Wint. She
there.
is amazing. And support Canadian artists, purchase their music, have an inspired conversation with someone. It's so often we forget to have those inspired conversations, and it is important that we love on each other today, that we smile with each other. And it's the reason I also one of the reasons I do this Victory Speak show. It wasn't my intention. I was just doing an audio podcast, and then I felt I had to start back interviewing again. Some people may not know that I was working on a TV show once upon a time, but God has a beautiful sense of humor, and He's brought it back. And now we had COVID, and this is the opportunity in the crisis. And if I can even get to interview a few people that I love and admire, and people that I come to know along the way, some people I've known for a long time, some people I'm just getting to know, and it's just such an enjoyable ride. You can follow me here. If you're listening on Facebook, it's Victory Speaks 77. If you want to go to the YouTube channel, we're all trying to build our YouTube channels. Victory Speaks 7. 7 is the number of perfection and completion. I was born in the 7, so it's my number. Twitter and Instagram, Victory Speaks 7. And also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can catch the Victory Speaks podcast. Now, that's an audio podcast. It's a little different. It's where I provide the Victory Speaks formula, the guide to living a victorious lifestyle. If you want to know what that's about, you got to go in there, subscribe to my podcast there once a week, sharing some inspirational messages. And if you're on Clubhouse, follow me on Victory Speaks. We're having some great conversations on Clubhouse. Oh my God, it's amazing. I can tell you so many different types of conversations happening on Clubhouse. I may have one or two invitations sitting in my back door. So if you want to get on Clubhouse, you know about it, let me know and I can invite you in, because on Clubhouse you have to be invited in. And people, as you go through this week and you go to have an intentional week of victory, smile at someone today, have a true conversation, call them on the phone. I know it's COVID. I know we're locked at home and we're supposed to be in lockdown. We're supposed to be, but if you're not, but call someone, send them a text, send them an email, be intentional. May this week be filled with lots of victorious moments for you. Every little moment counts. It's not always easy. I know this. It's not always easy for me. However, I encourage you to find something to be grateful for. Create that grateful box or container, whatever you want to. I'm purposely, intentionally writing down something I'm grateful for at least once a week. Even if I can't do it daily, I'm doing it once a week. And this is a quote. I found this quote I wrote in 2017. Remember that sometimes it's in the subtle things that greatness occurs. Now, beloveds, my friends, my new friends, I hope you have a victorious week. And I'm going to end with this song from Keisha. We're going to hold our head up to the sky. I want to thank my guest, Keisha Wint, for coming in. Support Canadian artists, love on them. Look at her. She gave us performances tonight. You actually went to a Keisha Wint concert tonight on the Victory Speaks show. So, you know, there's so many great artists out there. Support them, support them, support them. Thank you. Have a fabulous, fabulous time. Thank you, Keisha. I'm sending you virtual hugs. I'm sending you virtual love. Can't wait till I get to see you and get a true Keisha night hug.
Hugs.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And thank you, Joan Pierre. Thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight. I really appreciate you all. I know you're taking time out of your busy lives. It's Monday, it's the start of a great week, and we are going to have a victorious week together. Go buy Keisha's album now. Even the old ones, they're still good. Bye.